This next video is about wedging and also cleaning up. So first, once we're all set up to work with clay, when I give you your clay, I want you to wedge the clay to prepare it. Wedging is a process to remove air out of the clay. Think of it like kneading. You're going to be using your hands to press down onto the clay to squish and press down any air pockets. You never know if there's going to be air in your clay, so everyone has to do this step. And here's how it looks. You're going to take your clay. If it's not already round, go ahead and shape it so that it's easier to work with. You're going to have your clay board, and I also recommend that you stand when you wedge just to help with pressure. And wedging, you're going to cup your hands, keeping that clay on your board, pressing down, and then the bottom is going to flatten, the top try to keep curved and rounded. Think of it like a rock. And I'm always going to be pushing down and spinning and turning that clay in different directions just to ensure that I've pressed out any air that could be trapped inside the clay since you can't see through it. Some things to remember as you're wedging. And in class, it's okay if you over wedge your clay. Sometimes students ask me, when should I stop wedging? I usually recommend maybe like over 20 times just to be on the safe side. But some mistakes with wedging that a lot of students have. You never want to be poking holes into the clay. That just makes it worse. You don't want air in the clay. And when you seal those up, you just trapped air inside. You never want to be making pancakes. A lot of times students do this and I have to correct them. It actually causes a lot more cracking and drying in the clay. Mistake number 3, sometimes students often just don't press enough when they're doing wedging, and it's like they're just gently rolling their clay around, and that's really not going to do anything. So watch out for that. And the last mistake I often see, we're not in gym class, volleyball, spiking these, okay? So make sure that we don't throw the clay around. When I tell you it's time to clean up, class, no matter what we're doing, whether you've just wedged your clay or you made your whole project, we do need to store our clay at the end of class. So there's 4 steps to cleaning up that I want you to remember. Step 1, when I tell you it's time to clean up, you're gonna grab your plastic grocery bag. You wanna double check that there's no holes in these, so just double check. If there is a hole, you can tape them up with masking tape or grab a new bag. Step 2, we're gonna lay our clay in the bag, and I will come over and I will spray that with water. So step 2, you want to just open and lay it inside so I can squirt it. That's going to add extra moisture so your clay doesn't dry up. Step 3, we're going to tie our bag shut. Just think of it like how you start tying a shoelace. We're just going to do a single tie, closing it as far as we can. And I also recommend that you squeeze all the air out in this step. All right, so step 3, we want to just tie it up and squeeze the air out. Final step, step 4. Now that we have everything wrapped up, I'm going to take my project and I'm going to lay it in our tables box. That way I can store it for you for next class. So in this video, you've just learned how to wedge your clay and how to store and clean up.